eat everything on the pig except the squeal.
This set's nuts.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Oh, I think this set is very fucking powerful. But not powerful in the sense like Oko was powerful. Because, like, one, Oko's boring. And two, Oko's busted.
Yeah, Oko's ridiculous. He's so dumb.
This set is super powerful, but in ways that are really, really cool.
So, I thought of a good intro.
What's the intro?
First of all, I call dibs on Ferris Bueller, and then Cameron Fry, his friend.
Oh, that's a good one.
Since
but I also already wrote the...
Oh, well, go fuck yourself.
Because I want to get you fired up.
Oh, go fuck yourself. I already know what you're going to do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Something Mox Opal.
Nope. I would never do that.
All right, let's roll.
That doesn't seem like something I would ever do.
That seems exactly what you're going to do.
Well, only time will tell. What is up, you cat soldier creature tokens? Welcome back to another episode of the Fetch and Shock podcast. I am your host, a Karn without a target, Tyler, and joining me, as always, is a salty affinity player, Matt. Matt, what?
You're a cunt. I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it.
I mean, you saw it coming.
I'm the saltiest of boys.
You really, really are. You are not very pleased with how this week has unraveled.
No, not in the slightest.
There were definitely some moves and some shakes.
Two-thirds didn't fuck up. 1/3 fucked up.
I mean, that's still 66%. That's passing.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Isn't a 60 failure? No, it's like a 64 is a failure. So anything above a 64 is a D.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's bad. I didn't know that. It was that low.
Yeah. So you can be stupid and still be still pass. Still not be a failure.
That's what's wrong with everything.
That's where wizards tell you. They're just like, well, people are gonna like two of these, and then the people who don't like, we still passed. And the people who do like it, which I follow, they 100% they aced it. Whatever test that we were giving them, they passed with flying colors.
Well, not aced it, but yeah, they passed. Barely.
Oh, I think they aced. They did a great job. Wizards, I'm very proud of. I can't even be negative about it.
I can't
but
be.
We're going to save that one for last. So yeah. we can get beers on us before we start yelling at each other.
Yeah, that's fair.
First off, man, it's been a while. We totally missed this week because schedules were fucky.
It's definitely been a minute.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of shit going down. We have the rest of Theros, like the entirety of the set.
Yeah, she here.
Well, we had an entire weekend of Magic that we did not get to cover yet.
That is very true. A very good weekend of Magic.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid weekend of Magic. So let's jump right into that one. SCG Columbus, our lovely team outing in the beautiful city of Columbus.
I actually have the Twitter that I replied to up and ready to fucking roll.
Holy shit, you are way ahead of it. So let's go through it. Let's do a little recap of kind of what we were playing and what we were doing there. Like I said, SCG Columbus team event. So me, Matt, and our one buddy, Mitch, we jumped in on a team and we all played some flavor of Eldrazi because we're all bad people.
Yes. So
we're varying degrees of bad people, but we're all bad.
I'll take what Mitch was playing. You take what you were playing, and then I'll cover mine last.
Can I do
Mitch
your
was
deck?
playing? No, you do your deck, dum-dum. So Mitch was playing just stock E-Tron. So a little bit of hate, Tron lands, and then big dumb Eldrazi.
Was there a Microsoft in that sideboard?
There was.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, so that's what he was playing. What were you playing?
Well, I was playing a little bit of Eldrazi and Taxes. I mixed the bad with the good. So I did get to resolve Thalias on occasion and play Aether Vials. But I also played Spaghetti Monster. So
the Spaghetti Monsters are the good part of that deck.
That's not true. Thalia's great. Thalia won me games. I mean, as she does.
Oh, of course. Yeah. What made you play that deck?
Because Spirits was bad. Because Oko is really fucking good. And when I heard that you and Mitch were both playing Eldrazi Temples in your deck and Thought-Knot Seers in your deck, I was like, well, maybe I should just do that. So I dusted off my Thought-Knot Seers and my Eldrazi Temples and my Displacers, and I did the thing that I used to do before Spirits was a thing.
Fair. So I played Ban Eldrazi. I played Ban Eldrazi mainly because Once Upon a Time is a very ridiculous magic.
Oh yeah, Once Upon a Time's busted.
Yes. That and Eldrazi Displacer, super fucking powerful.
Yeah, can confirm. You and I were how many Displacers did you play? 4?
4. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So between you and I, we both had 4 copies.
Yeah, and then Oko obviously is a busted magic card, and you get to play it alongside big dumb idiots.
Yeah, I can't wait to play him in my next Modern event.
Yeah, I'm fine with that one. That one doesn't bug me. So I've won a game. Just turn 2 Oko on the play. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, just like what do you do with that?
Yeah, they really can't do anything about it as they're trying to deal with the Oko. I'm playing Thought Knots and Smashers and just killing them.
Yeah, turns out 4/4s and 5/5s can put on some amount of pressure. A non-zero amount of pressure.
Yeah, and 3/3s. So that's why I chose to play that.
Well, speaking of
Once Upon a Time is super good, and Oko is obviously very powerful.
Well, speaking of Oko, let's go. let's just get a little review of some of the highlights from our rounds, or lowlights, which was my round 1. So we sat down and we're all excited to play. We're all like, okay, let's do this. Come on, it's party time. Sit down against our first opponents. Nice enough guys. I sit and I'm like, just like looking through my cards in my opening hand. It's abysmal. Throw it back. Go to 6. No lander. Throw it back. Go to 5. I'm like, okay, it's a keepable 5. If my opponent does like nothing in the first couple turns, I might be able to like draw lands and kind of maybe somehow get back in this game. My opponent, who is on the draw, proceeds to go Ornithopter, Memnite, land, Ginger Brute, attack for 1. And I'm like, what? Oh no. Oh, this is bad.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Yeah, so that game ended with him equipping a Ginger Brute with that one equipment, I can't remember what it's called. Granule plating. And just nugging me for like 8.
Yeah, guess what? You could pay a nice little 1 colorless and can't be blocked by creatures unless they have haste.
Definitely couldn't block that because there are 0% creatures with haste in my deck. That was really fun.
Smasher.
Well, I wasn't playing Smasher in my deck.
Oh, that was your problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just can't afford it. I'm using my lands for other things. But so I'm like, okay. I look at you guys and I'm like, well, you guys are gonna have to carry the weight because I was like, no way I'm winning this matchup because I wasn't even playing like Sony Silence against Affinity. So it's like, okay, well, maybe I can maybe claw back somehow. We start the next game. I go land, Aether Vial, go. My opponent goes Darksteel Citadel, Mox Opal, Ornithopter, activate or tap the Mox Opal for green, play another Mox Opal, tap it for blue, tap Darksteel Citadel, play Oko, turn my Aether Vial into an elk.
Yeah, that's rough.
I lost that game immediately. I got turned fucking Oko very first match we played at Columbus. So that set the pace for the day pretty fucking accurately.
Yeah, that'll happen. See, I didn't have a problem beating Oko because I chose a deck that I didn't really care. And if they wanted to turn my Thought Knot or something into an Oko, I blink it and just get a free card out of it.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what my deck was all about, too. Like, I was very insulated against Oko, just not on turn fucking
fair.
Yeah, I don't think your deck is insulated against Oko on turn 1 either. So.
No, I think it would be for the mere fact of you're playing a lot smaller creatures and your game plan is much more cohesive, where mine is, hey, I'm going to play these and just bash you. You're trying to control their lands and mana. I say, okay, cool. Thought Knot. Okay, turn it into 3/3. Cool. Swing. Smasher.
I still don't think you're beating a turn 1 Oko. I don't think any deck in Modern would ever beat a turn 1 Oko.
I'm not getting into it.
Unless they just turn 1, like Pithing Needle, naming Oko. That's something you could probably do.
Nope. So I played against Sultai Earth, thoroughly romped him. For the reason
that seems like I mean, that was one of the reasons why your deck was so good, like well positioned, is because if Urza shows up in a big force, something they can apply pressure really quickly and also have some amount of disruptive elements, you're just going to run through every Urza opponent.
Well, I was playing 4-path, so that helps. And Displacers are pretty good against Emery if they never get to use it.
Yeah, that seems really okay.
Yeah, so I did that a couple times. The guy played like Engineered Explosives 3 different times in a game, and it just didn't fucking matter.
It just doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah,
Thought Knot Seer is also very fucking good against that deck.
Yeah, that and Path. He played the thing, played Urza, made a dude, Path the Urza, and blink the token, and I was like, okay, kill you. And
Yeah,
it
as long as they
just-
like don't resolve an Urza like late game, then like it's really hard for them to beat.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
So-
so like that seems like a good matchup.
Yeah, I have a very good Urza matchup, in my opinion at least. Someone might be like, nope, you're a fucking idiot. And it's like, well, every time I play against Urza with Ban Eldrazi, I win. So,
Yeah, you heard it now, folks. For your next Modern event, if you're expecting to play a lot against an Urza deck, especially if Oko's in it, make sure you
Yeah.
play Ban Eldrazi.
and then Mitch played against Infect. They went to game 3. So you lost very quickly. I won very quickly. And Mitch and his opponent, he lost game 1, took game 2, and then got pretty smashed up by turn 1 Glistener Elf.
I don't know
and
how
two-
he stole a game from Infect. That seems like the worst matchup.
It's good on the play because of Chalice and Warping Well. You can kind of, and Spatial Contortion, you can interact with them before
Before they
play
can
it.
kind of develop their mana.
Yeah, they can protect it, but they're wasting spells to protect it.
Yeah.
So that
I
buys
still
you
don't think like
time.
that's definitely never a favored matchup.
Not a favorite matchup, but then again, Blast Zone also helps. There's a lot of good
Blast Zone's a card.
cards in the E-Tron deck that are very good against. The
Yeah, you
issue
just
is you
have to
just have to
find
draw
before
them
you're
in the correct
dead.
order and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to not die before you get those cards, which is
Yeah.
easier said than done.
So that was round 1.
Yeah, round
we
1
went-
was a big fat L.
And then round 2, I played my Stone Cold worst matchup,
What
which
did you play
was
round 2?
Amulet Titan.
Oh yeah, you got crushed.
Yes.
I think I played control that, like blue white control
You
that.
played Blue White Control, yes.
Oh,
and
my
you
goodness,
won
and
because you should
eat
never
that
ever lose
for
that.
dinner. Yeah, I will take that matchup all day, twice on Sundays. I'm cool with that.
And then, believe it or not, Mitch drew. They went to turns and drew against Dredge of all
Dredge.
decks.
God, I love it.
He
Oh,
would have
yeah.
won if Mitch had one more turn in the second game. He would have won, but the guy exact with the fuck is that red card?
Oh, the
Red.
one that you could do from your graveyard. Conflagrate.
Well,
It is Conflagrate.
Yeah. So yeah, he did that, and then game 3, given the time.
Oh yeah, what they had
Um,
they had 2 minutes left on the clock when they started game 3.
Yeah, Mitch
Yeah,
would
so
have
they
won
got
that
a turn
game
and a half
if
into it before
Yeah.
turns came.
The dude had a pretty good hand. He had a bunch of dredgers, and Mitch just had everything to answer the dredgers when they're in the yard.
Well, yeah, Mitch
Um,
would have drawn, like, we would have been able to maybe sneak out the win, but he had the mana to be able to cast one of the Narcomoebas in his hand, and that produced enough blocker to make them live through the final attack on, like, turn 5, which was Mitch's turn. So that was an 0-1-1 start. Gotta love that.
Yeah, so I have a terrible Amulet Titan matchup. I knew that going in, so
Oh, yeah,
shame
that's,
on
like,
me.
stone unwinnable. So, yeah, I mean, that's essentially what I was looking down the barrel of when I played Affinity round 1, so that was fun.
And then round 3, Mitch played against Mono Greentron, which just goes bigger, much quicker. And
Oh, yeah.
he got thoroughly trashed 2-0 pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you played Tron.
I played
You got
against the
third.
Eldrazi Tron.
Oh, I didn't know E-Tron. I just thought it was regular Tron.
No, it was Eldrazi Tron.
Okay, so yeah, that's a bad matchup for you as well.
Oh goodness, yeah. Karn, getting any kind of artifact that it just deals with my things. Like I just can't beat half the cards in their deck, which is cool. That's super fun.
Yeah, and then I played against Grixis Death Shadow. He took game 1. Game 1's always rough for me in that matchup, but games 2 and 3 post sideboard, I just smash him. So I smashed him game 2 quite as easily. Veil Summer is very good, and then we didn't
Our
get to
game
finish
four,
game
before
3.
your game 3 was
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, which I was on my way to winning, so that I count that as 1-1. So 0-3 or 0-2-1.
Yeah, 0-2-1. Gotta love it. So we had a very good start. Not quite at the beer bracket yet. So
Not
everybody
quite,
who
yeah.
voted that we were going to just go 0-2, drop, hit the bars, suck it. You were wrong. So
Hey, you fucking idiots.
shit, boys.
And then round 4, I played against Black White Planeswalkers. I think that's just what it's called. It's like
Oh, it was the
Thoughtseize
Black White
is
Token stack, the one with
Inquisition. Not
with, like,
tokens,
the Vampire Planeswalker and
tokens like that, yeah, and Gideon, and just
yeah, I would
removal
say
and
just Black White
paths.
tokens. Where they're playing like some discard spells and then like Lingering Souls and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I won that game 2-0. Mitch beat Spirits 2-0, which he shouldn't lose to that ever.
Yeah.
And then you beat E-Tron. Oh, you played Tron that time, so I fucked those up.
Yeah, I played
mixed those
actual
up.
Tron that game, and that one was the best game ever.
Well, you have Leonin Orbiter and Ghost Quarter, which is okay, as long as you can put a clock on them while keeping them off mana.
Well, we sat
they
down.
Can't do shit.
We sat down and I kept like a very playable opening hand, which I don't remember what it was, because it didn't turn out it was going to matter at all, because my opponent looks at his opening hand, tosses it back. Goes to 6, tosses it back. Goes to 5, tosses it back. And I look at him, I'm like, oh, we got a guy on Tron over here. And he just looks at me just like dead stare. And I'm just like, well, I mean, there's only one deck that mulligans like this in the format, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
And he mulligans down to 3 and then plays a tower and passes the turn. And I'm like, nailed it. And proceeded just to play creatures. And he could not come back from a mull to 3, which is understandable.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Game 2 went way fucking different, though. Game 2, he kept a 7 and just kept jamming things. And I got him down to, I got him down to 14. And then he resolved an O-Stone, and then Karn, and then Ugin.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh, well, I'm just like the deadest person ever. But he had no cards in hand. I got his Planeswalkers down to the point where he had to pop the O-Stone, or else he was going to lose both of his Planeswalkers in combat, or just
lose them
die.
Anyway.
Yeah. So he blew up the board, lost both of his Planeswalkers, and I lost everything. I untapped, put 7 creatures worth of toughness on the battlefield, or power on the battlefield, and then just crossed my fucking fingers. And then through the course of the next 2 turns, he drew nothing followed by nothing, and I won that game. And it was the tightest my butthole has ever been puckered in my entire life.
So that made us 1-2-1.
Yep, clawing back.
Round 5, Mitch played against Boggles, which...
Oh, God. Good luck, bud.
No, that's a great matchup for E-Tron.
How? Does it just attack through his stuff?
No, the Chalice.
What's that?
Chalice of the...
Oh, I guess if he resolves a Chalice on 1, that's very...
Yeah, just game over.
Yeah.
Even if they play a creature out, it's like, okay, well, a little bit of disruption, that goes a long way. And then he was playing something, I forget what he did, but it destroyed... some of the enchantments. I forget what it was.
Was it Blast Zone?
Oh, no. The 7-mana sweeper.
All is Dust.
All is Dust.
All is Dust does some things.
Yeah, he got him. I saw he got him pretty good that game.
All is Dust is a very, very powerful card. Yeah, if you can get to the mana to cast All is Dust against Boggles, by all means, do that. Because that will probably win you that game.
Yeah. So he actually won that game 2-0.
Yes.
You played against Burn.
I played against Burn.
Yeah.
Which
like old school Burn, not
just
like
the
red prowess.
No, yeah, the red-white Burn. He did have the green splash for like I'm assuming Destructive Revelry or something like that. But yeah, that was a super fun game. Turns out Thalia is really good, and Comball out of the sideboard is really good.
Yeah, you had a nice little interaction with Aether Vial and Comball.
Oh yeah, I had my classic
activate Aether Vial. He said, sure, put Campbell down. He went to respond to combo. You're like, you can't respond to that.
Yeah, buddy. Once you let the Aether Vial trigger resolve, that creature is just existing on the battlefield. It is just there. Just poof. That's what happens. Because that's what Aether Vial does.
Let me be very clear. It's not like you just tapped and put combo down. You said, tap, activate.
Yeah, I said, activate Aether Vial. And a homie said, yes. Yeah, that'll happen. And then Comball existed on the battlefield. Yes. And like, there's a good, like, I've been playing Aether Vial a long, long time. And I've had that judge call a million times. And it is really at the judge's discretion. And it's at the opponent's discretion to not lie. But it's at the judge's discretion to rule that being okay or not. This judge call took a long time.
That's how the card works. So that's how
it should be ruled. But sometimes judges are afraid to say that, oh, well, you didn't read the card, so... or you don't know how this card works, so we're gonna let that go back, and you're gonna get to play the game with more information. I've been on the wrong side of that judge call a good amount of times.
And that's where you say, I would like to appeal that, because that's horse shit.
Well, when you're at a smaller shop and there's only one judge, it's kind of hard to appeal.
Nope, it's not. You appeal it, be like, this is ridiculous. Appeal this, because that's not how this works.
Oh no, it's definitely not how it works. But
they look up the rolling, and you say that's not how this card works.
Yeah, I just don't go to that shop anymore because
my opponent has every ample opportunity to read the card I didn't just tap it and put it down. I said activate Aether Vial.
It was also game 2, and I had Aether Vial game 1. So, like, we all knew what the card did.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was a fun judge call. I mean, I'm used to the judge call. Like, it comes with the territory of playing that card. You just, like, you know your interactions, and then you just explain it the best you can.
Well, Aether Vial's been around for a very fucking long time. People should know how it works. It's not that difficult of a card.
And it's also been in Modern for a good amount of time. But, like, I also don't
It's been in
expect
Modern
everybody to be
literally
playing
since the inception
Modern
of
for as long as I have been. Like, I've been playing Modern for a very, like, almost as long as I've been playing Magic. There are people who are just picking up Modern, so I don't expect them to know. Like, I'm not shitting on somebody for not knowing a card for a format they've only been playing for, like, a couple months.
That wasn't the case, though. Well, anyway, I played against a red-white prison deck, and the opponent, both times, played a Blood Moon on turn 1. I proceeded to... The first game, I sacked my Misty Rainforest to get a forest, and said, sure, that resolves. And proceeded to play lands. Still could play some creatures just with hierarchs and basics because I was running 4 basics in my deck. And eventually, he had that new enchantment from Throne where you roll a dice and then you either get a 3/1 haste, 2/1 haste lifelink.
Oh, yeah, that's super sweet.
Or the 1/2 that pings when it enters. And I
Yeah.
said, okay.
That is
And then I
super sweet.
Proceeded to hardcast to Elder Deep Fiend.
Yeah, Elder Deep Fiend seems pretty good. Well, you
Which
also,
is
in that game, did
Stone
you just,
cold,
like,
colorless.
top deck the blue source, too?
No, it's 100% colorless.
Oh, how did you cast that, then?
It is 100% colorless, like generic. It doesn't require. It's
It's 8
colorless.
mana.
Yes.
Oh, that is something. Yeah, that'll do it. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, only the whatever the emerge cost is blue.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So he swung in with his creatures. I said, response to attack, or no, I let his creatures come in. I just tapped down all of his land.
And then just
All of
ate
his
some
white
guy.
producer. I ate the 3/1 dude, smashed for 5. The next turn, I did the exact same thing. He's like, as soon as you tapped 8 mana, I knew.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then
That's
game 2,
pretty good.
he proceeded on the play, a turn 1 Blood Moon, and I kept a hand that was Forest Plain, some other shit, Once Upon a Time, and said keep. And then he played that. First turn, drew my card, drew the second Forest, which was hilarious. And then once upon a time, I forget what I took, but had perfect mana because Once Upon a Time is ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah, I love how you are only playing so many basics and you just had all of them against Blood Moon.
Well, game 1, I fetched for the first one, and then
you
drew
naturally
into the
drew
second
other
one. Yeah.
But like you just having it, it's just like such a beating. Like
Yes.
Blood Moon should just, if you don't have the ability to go do that, Blood Moon should just kill you.
I did sneak a Path to Exile under a Chalice. It was just on a Simian Spirit Guide, so it wasn't a big deal. But he did get me the second time because he's like, all right, he didn't notice it. He didn't remember his triggers.
Yeah, you got to chalice check people, I guess.
I
But anyway,
challenge check people all day.
Talking about the actual tournament's boring. So we quit about that. We quit literally after that. We rattled off 2 wins
by
and
the
then
end of the
realized
day.
that we want to go do something else. We're the worst tournament Magic players.
I'm better when I'm by myself because I was actually doing well. You guys just suck.
We had the same amount of wins, bud.
Nope.
Yes, we did. Because if you want to count your draws as wins,
Oh, the game that I didn't finish.
mm-hmm.
But okay, so
then I get to count mine as well.
You didn't have any draws. You had round 1 loss.
Well, those were games that because
Round
we sat there and
3
finished the games because
lost.
Once you get to that point in a tournament, people are just like, oh well, we're not here to win, we're just here to have fun. Which is where I would rather be in an event like that. Because playing a bunch of hardos in like their fancy jerseys
on a team event, yeah, it's kind of
is
annoying.
obnoxious. Yeah, so after that we rallied the troops. If you listen to the previous episode, you know that we went with another team of people, a bunch of homies from back where we grew up. And what did they do? I don't remember.
They did real bad.
No, I wouldn't say real bad. I think they went 2-3.
No, I'm pretty sure they were 1-4.
1-4? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't do great, but I mean, it happens to the best of us. Even good players just like get scrubbed out.
I mean, we didn't do too hot either, so
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, even players that know what the fuck they're doing, like, and we're not good players, but there are good players out there that just like go 0-2 draw. That's just Magic.
Yeah, so we ended up dropping after round 5. We decided we were going to do a chaos draft and then follow that up with booze cube.
Yeah, so we went over to one of the vendors who was selling a bunch of random boosters, and then just pulled a bunch of money together and just bought a bunch of random booster packs, and then took them home and just did a wild chaos draft.
I crushed that.
I wouldn't say crushed it.
Nope.
Didn't you two? You 2-0'd everybody but me.
Correct.
I'm the only one that stole a game from me.
Yep. And you had a good deck. My deck was just absurd.
My deck was very fucking good too.
Between you and Austin, I got so much removal, and Austin passed me a Whip of Erebos.
See, that I think if you didn't have that in any of our games, or the games would have been much closer. Whip is just a disgusting magic card.
Had it in one game. That's it.
Yeah, that game would have been much closer. But the second that card resolves, it's just like, oh, well, every creature you control has lifelink, and also you can just get creatures back, and that's not awesome.
Yeah, do better.
Yeah, I didn't get past the Whip. You did.
Thoroughly wrong, Mitch, without it even.
Oh, your deck was just like generically good too. But Whip is such a busted magic card.
Yes, that is also true.
So what, you played like Abzan just creatures?
Abzan, yeah, pretty much just Abzan. I had so much removal, tons of fixing, and then a lot of flyers.
And I got to play one of the best decks ever in any format, which is just blue-red, just bounce spells and just shitty dumb creature.
Yeah, it turns out that'll work.
Yup, there are just some archetypes that are just ubiquitous regardless of format. And just a blue-red spells deck will always just be a tried and true get there strategy.
Yes.
Gotta love it.
It will get there.
But that Chaos Trap was super fun. And
it was very fun.
Anytime that you get to sit down with just random packs of magic cards and just crack them open and see what the fuck cards you haven't seen possibly ever, or cards that you haven't seen in a very long time, that is so fucking.
And there being zero cohesion.
Oh yeah, because it's just a shit show. It's just a goddamn mess. Whichever way you split it, there's no overlap. Like there's cards that wheeled through packs that would be like pack one, pick ones in their respective formats, but because they have nothing to do with anything, you just can't take them. You just can't take those cards.
Yeah, like the snow cards.
Yeah, I ended up with the last pick of the draft was that
the last two cards was On Thin Ice and a Snow Plains.
Yeah, On Thin Ice and Snow Plains from Modern Horizons. I gotta love that.
It's really funny.
Yeah, so you got yourself a Snow Basic out of that, and I got myself an On Thin Ice. I'm okay with that.
I played that Snow Basic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. That's brilliant. Just got to throw them off the trail.
Yeah.
But after that Chaos Draft, which was very, very much fun, came the main event of the weekend.
The Booze Cube.
Fuck yeah. We got to do some Booze Cubing, boys.
This time I did not win.
I love that.
My deck was trash. I literally had one way to win, and that was the Green Planeswalker, the Juan Tequila or whatever, and then make everyone, and then make everyone quit by making everyone drink. Starting off with a 34 count, and it circled the table till it got to 0. Did the math, it would have been 27 beers.
Yeah, that would have been something if that would have happened.
But Mitch killed everyone after Austin played a board wipe, and Mitch had what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, all I remember from that, because I became the brunt of the drinking. I don't know what made me a target, but I feel like I was a target.
You convinced Mitch to kill my thing that had 30 counters on it.
Well, that's what the whole part of a multiplayer game, dude. You got a politic.
But you lost the politics because I just friggin' killed you with it.
But the thing died. So I did it for the better. I sacrificed I'm a martyr. I sacrificed myself for the betterment of the table. So everybody who was at that table, you're welcome. Also, I don't remember the game after that happened.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I just faced like 2 beers after we had been drinking heavily the entire night, and that was just like, you know what? Tyler's in blackout mode. Let's just go. Because I don't even remember the end of the game. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
The only thing I remember about the game is I had Lancy Enhanced, which is a cheaty face type card that you can just sneak on the battlefield, and if nobody catches you, it exists.
Yes.
And I was just fucking with that thing the entire night. And
however,
Mitch was getting so bummed.
Someone does catch you, you have to drink 10.
Yes, which I was fine with. But Mitch gets so salty about that card, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. That he does.
Yeah, so anything that I can abuse to make somebody upset, I'm gonna do it, and that's what I do.
Yeah, lean into it. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, if you're gonna do something, overdo it, and that's exactly what Lancy Enhance enabled me to do. Oh, I fucking love it. Yeah, so Boost Cube ended well. I don't remember. I can assume it ended well. That seems about right.
It ended well for everyone but you, pretty much.
I am going to chalk it up for a win for me. You always win if you don't remember Boost Cube.
You're not wrong.
There can't be a loser if you don't remember losing.
Is that your new life motto?
Yes, that is going to be the motto of 2020. You can't lose if you don't remember.
I can dig it.
Yep, that is my new moniker. That's going to be the platform that I run on for 2020 when I run for president of the United States.
It's already 2020, bud.
Yep, I'm going to start running
behind the times. Right, yeah, you are quite far behind.
Don't you have to be like 30 something years old? Okay, when
Yeah.
I'm 20, when in whatever year I am that I'm 35, I'm running on the platform of you can't lose if you don't remember. And then the night of the election, I'm just going to get fucking blackout drunk, and then I'm going to wake up president. That's how it works.
I can dig it.
Like my campaign is going to be literally, I'm just going to get like 20 of those signs and just post them up on random street corners across the United States. And people are going to be like, what the fuck is this? And then it's just going to be me just on like Snapchat or something. I'm just going to be just posting videos of me just slamming beers on election night. And I'm going to wake up and be like, I'm the president. I'm just going to walk myself to the White House, walk right into the front door, and then get into the Oval Office, and then just take a nice hungover nap right on top of the desk.
Like in the morning.
Yeah, somebody's gonna walk and be like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm the president of the United States." Still drunk.
You have my bet.
Okay, we can Boost Cube that night. That'll help.
Yeah,
That'll be my catalyst.
that will for sure help.
Yep, that's gonna be my platform. Free Boost Cube for every person. Hey, you 6-year-old, you want to learn how to Boost Cube?
Yeah. Too bad.
Your grandmother who's in a funeral home, or not a funeral home, an old person's home. Oh, they could be in a funeral home too. We're going to bring them back to life. Liliana's going to use her necromancy, bring them back just a Boost Cube, and then she can go back to sleep afterward.
I feel like that may be offensive, but I don't know because I find it funny.
Well, tweet us at fetch_shock if you find that offensive. Or actually, better yet, if your dead grandmother finds that offensive, she can tweet us at fetch_shock.
Teach her how to use Twitter.
Yes. Well, I'm sure she'll figure it out. She's got all this free time. Okay, this is
Yeah,
awful.
Jesus Christ.
Well, speaking of dead people that are coming back to life,
there.
let's talk about Theros Beyond Death.
I don't know if you did that on purpose, but that's smooth.
I did it. That is easily my best. That's going to be my best transition of the year. And it was 100% on accident. I don't know how I would have purposely started talking about bringing dead grandmothers back to life just to talk
I couldn't
about.
tell you how it got there either.
Nope. We don't worry about how it gets there. We just wanted it to get there.
It just got there.
The ends justify the means. So Theros Beyond Death, we have the rest of the set, right?
That we do.
Yeah, we have the whole entire set in its complete form. And just looking over the set in general, I don't know if you got to look at like commons, uncommons, or anything yet, Matt, but I mean, this set is 1, very, very powerful. 2, I'm really excited to draft this.
I think it's going to be a good draft format.
Oh, yeah. And I have fond memories of original Theros, like triple Theros draft. It kind of got a little murky with like Born of the Gods and Journey to Nyx, but triple Theros, I remember that fondly as a very good draft form.
I didn't like original Theros.
Oh, I loved it. I just loved the whole devotion concept and just being able to do like monocolor decks. Like that was just so unique for that time.
Yeah, that part was the devotion. I like that mechanic.
But even outside of draft, there are some cards that we have not got to talk about yet that I think are very, very good in whatever format that they can respectively be paid in. So let's start off. We'll go in Wooburg order, starting off with a white card that has my name all over it, Eidolon of Obstruction. So the Eidolon is a 2/1 first strike. It is a enchantment spirit, and it is 1 and a white. It also says loyalty abilities of planeswalkers your opponents control cost 1 more to activate. So they have to pay a colorless mana if they wish to do any ability on their planeswalker. When I first saw this card, I was really fucking excited about it. Like I had you texted me about it, Austin texted me about it. I had a couple other people message me about it saying, "Oh, what are your thoughts?" And my gut reaction to this was, this is fucking awesome. I can't wait to get this in my hands and play with it. Yeah. Now that I've kind of let it sit and it's percolated, this card actually leaves a lot to be.
It's a good jumping off point. I think if they made it too strong out of the gate, it would just make planeswalkers unplayable, which they for sure do not want to do.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. When they print planeswalkers, they definitely want them to not be banned out of any format ever.
Yeah, they try.
See, Oko. But so don't get me wrong. The design on this card I think is very fucking good. Like the concept behind it is a home run. But
For sure, agree with you.
Yeah, since I've been able to sit and think about its context in a format as a whole, this card might have a chance to see modern play, depending on how Pioneer shakes out in the foreseeable future. Could see play in Pioneer. I don't think this is ever going to see play in Legacy, unfortunately. And like, I mean, sure, standard, whatever. I don't even know if planeswalkers are going to be that important in standard. My issue with it is, one, it has 1 toughness, so it is super fragile. It dies to so many things.
It does have first strikes, that kind of mitigates the creature combat aspect of it.
Sure, but there's only so many like 1 toughness for 2 mana hate bears that you can jam into any style of deck. And Thalia kind of does what this card does, but better. Like Thalia, yeah, 100%. Because so think about it this way.
Oh, you're saying Thalia is the better version? Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So with Thalia on the battlefield, they can't play their Planeswalker on curve. But then once it's on the battlefield, they can activate. With this on the battlefield, they can play their Planeswalker on curve, but they have to wait to activate it. I think the former version of that, which is Thalia, is just infinitely better in almost every capacity.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It hits more things.
Nothing guarantees that they're going to hit their land drops. And in the style of deck that Thalia shines in, you're managing their mana usually somewhat effective, at least if you're winning those games. This guy, they can go ahead and play their Planeswalker on curve, and then they just have to wait a turn. They untap, and unless you kill it, they untap and they just get to use their guy.
Yep. I agree. Thalia hits more things at spells. Mm-hmm. It's harder for them to cast it. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you on that point of it.
So for this to be an impactful card with the design that it has, I would think that it would have to be at least the same mana cost, or if they want to keep the body on it, make it 1 mana, which is a very, very tall ask. Like that would be a very good card if it was like 1 white, the exact same text. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Or it would have to be like 2 white and then just be a much bigger, much more intimidating body. Like make it like a 2/2 first strike, or like
2/3 or something.
Or 3/3 would be great. But this card in its current iteration, when you put it into context of the formats that you're going to be playing this in, I don't think cuts the cheese. Like there's so many better interactions with planeswalkers that you can play in those formats that are either cheaper than this or just do a better job at dealing with multiple things than this does. Like see Pithing Needle, see Phyrexian Revoker, see what's the one enchantment that makes activated abilities cost 2 more?
Oh, I can't think of the name of it. I know what it is, but
yeah,
it's
but
1 and a white.
Yeah, there's an enchantment for 1 and a white that makes activated abilities of everything cost 2 more. That just does a far better job of what this card's trying to do for the same mana cost. And it's harder to remove.
Much harder to remove.
Mm-hmm. And that card hits like fetch lands. That card hits
anything that isn't
on lands.
Anything that isn't a mana ability.
Yeah, which is like just a strictly better version of this card, right?
Yes.
So the design, home run. In the context of formats, it leaves a lot to be desired. I am not super high on this card.
I think it's good. I don't think it's ridiculous.
I think for the first attempt, it is admirable. But they are going to have to do a lot more to make something of this style like playable in multiple. Even modern. I don't think this card's going to see play in modern.
You don't think?
Nope. Like there would have to be some really fucked up shit to happen in modern for this card to be like something that you're just jamming in your deck over top of the Thalia.
Fair.
Like maybe like a Dread of Night, but for just humans. Like then maybe, but even then I don't even know. Like oh boy, like they wouldn't. First of all, I don't think they would ever print that.
Definitely. Well, they did kind of.
Oh, you're talking about like the spell version of it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but I'm talking about like just an enchantment, like 1 black -1/1 to all human creatures.
Oh, I got you.
Like
Yeah,
that would
be
that card's
ridiculous.
disgusting.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
Called Plague Engineer.
Yeah, Plague Engineer's a guy. But it being a creature is at least kind of more manageable.
Yeah, a little bit.
Also, everybody knows my feelings about Plague Engineer. Fuck that card in the ass.
Yeah, you're not a fan.
Nope, definitely not have been, not ever will be. So let's talk about another card that I am not a fan of. And I don't think anybody is, honestly. Let's talk about Shatter the Sky. Matt,
Yeah,
not
not a fan of that one.
Did you know that Wrath of God is too good?
Too powerful. This is just a worse. So this is 2 white sorcery. Each player controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card. Then destroy all creatures. Just a very, very, very shitty Wrath of God.
It is the worst Wrath of God I have ever seen. Because even the ones that they print that are 5 mana, they at least do something better. Like this is just exact Wrath of God, but with a downside.
Yep.
Like in what world was Wizard sitting there thinking, oh yeah, here's what we can do. We can do in this, like a set before this, they thought Oko was printable. Like that card was okay to see print. And then they read the card Wrath of God and they said, pumps the brakes, folks. That ability is too powerful for 4 mana. Let's make your opponent draw a card. Because really what this reads is each opponent draws a card, then destroy all creatures. Because I don't know what world you're casting this spell if you have a 4 power creature.
Yeah, very unlikely unless you're super far behind.
Disgusting shit. And we were even discussing before we started recording, if this card just said, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card, then destroy all creatures, that would still be a playable card.
Yeah, but letting your opponent draw is not worth it.
No, this card's and this is just perpetuating the concept that white is just not get good cards.
Probably be good in limited. That's maybe commander, but that's about it.
I mean,
that's
just
my
as
opinion.
Every Wrath, this is going to be like you're going to pick this person limited. Like I even think with the drawback, this is just going to be a good pick because almost every Wrath is a good pick in limited.
Yeah, not a fan of this card.
Especially considering how slow this format's probably going to be. Like Wraths are just going to go up in equity.
They might. I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah, I guess we will see. Well, the last white card that I want to talk about is Tyrannica, a Crowan veteran. This card is sweet. People were even trying to talk about this in like Legacy Death and Taxes. I don't think it's good enough for Legacy Death and Taxes, but I'm not going to completely roll it out. And I will totally eat crow if this card does start seeing play in Legacy Death and Taxes, because then I'll need to buy like at least some copies of it.
Yeah, I don't think it would be. It doesn't actually do anything besides smash pretty hard.
Yeah, in a world where you need the beaters, like this card's pretty high up on the list, but there are just so many other options out there that just do more that I don't see this thing's going to see. But I do see this being impactful in like humans in modern. So let's talk about the card. It is a 3/3 creature for 1 and 2 white. It is a human soldier, a legendary. It has vigilance, and it says whenever it attacks, you untap another target creature you control until the end of turn. That creature's base power and toughness is 4/4, and it gains indestructible. So if you attack with 2 things, you untap the other thing, it becomes a 4/4 indestructible until the end of turn.
Yeah, so it can hit pretty hard.
Yeah,
turn a 1/1 into a 4/4, and it doesn't like remove counters or anything. So say you have a 1/1 with 3 counters on it, that just becomes a 7/7.
Yeah. Well, and I see the world where this is played in humans, and you go for you kind of like do like an alpha strike kind of deal, or just get in with the creatures that you're going to be able to get in with, and then you just casually toss in a Noble Hierarch into that, and then your Noble Hierarch untaps, turns into a 4/4, and then post combat you can use that Noble Hierarch for mana. Like that is a very powerful interaction.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
The thing I think in general, this thing maybe gives your creature in that deck like maybe a +2/+2.
Yeah, other times it would just be worse, or the indestructible's not nothing.
Well, base power 4/4 is bigger than every creature.
Yep, it is. Doesn't lose other abilities, which is nice. So.
Yeah, and it does, and like you said, it does keep the counters. So it turns your 1/1 that has 5 counters on it into a 4/4 with 5 counters. Like that's a big deal, guys. But there also has to be a world where
nothing.
Yeah, there also has to be a world where this isn't just a one-shot thing, where this lady doesn't just die in combat just for the cost of you getting in for a little bit bigger damage. Because it's not like it gives the creature trample too.
Yeah, it does not. It's just base base power toughness increase.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there is definitely a world where this card is going to get to see play in humans, in modern. I don't think it's going to be good enough in Legacy, Death and Taxes, mostly because the 3-drop slot is already so clustered with, you're obviously playing Flicker Wisp. You need to play Recruiter to the Guard in some amount. You need to play Sacred Prelate in some amount. And then your flex slots are usually at the 3 mana, and they're usually for like meta calls. A lot of the time, especially now, because Oko is still the only format that Oko is still legal in. The only format besides Vintage that Oko is still legal in is Legacy. Mirren Crusader is like the only thing that I want to be playing right now with Oko legal, because Oko is the most powerful like game managing card that's ever been printed.
Well, it does everything.
Exactly.
We've gone through.
So Mirren Crusader is just insulated against that. Like, it doesn't let your opponent's Elks block it. It also just gets in and does a good chunk of damage, if not kill Oko, and it doesn't get Elk, which is the big thing.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Oh my god,
Green.
A Mirren Crusader carrying any kind of weapon too. That's the thing dreams are made of.
Yeah, that hits very hard and triggers twice.
Mm-hmm. And even in the world where I'm not, like, I don't have to play against Oko, so I'm not playing Mirren Crusader, like, I've always been a sucker for, like, Brimaz in that spot, because he just goes wide.
Yeah.
And that is really fucking good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, I like it. I like this card. I just don't like it in Legacy, and I do think Humans is definitely going to play this. Maybe there is another shell in Modern that I could see this going into. Like, attacking with this and, like, some 1/1s from Lingering Souls feels really good.
Yeah, just make a 4/4 flyer that's indestructible. That's okay.
Yeah. You just turned your 1/1 Flying Spirit into a Sarah Angel for the turn. It's like Geist of Saint Draft.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So yeah, this card's really sweet. So moving on from white, Matt.
That would actually be really good with Geist of Saint Draft, just as a heads up. Make your Geist indestructible.
Ooh. Okay. Now you have me thinking. The Geist of Saint Draft Tyrannica deck. Just have these very powerful legendary 3-mana creatures just go into battle.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that shit. I love it. So moving on from white, unfortunately, I know everybody's very disappointed. They want to hear me talk about white cards the entire night.
Everyone is fucking stoked.
Let's talk about some blue cards. Namely, the last god we did not get to talk about, Thassa, Deep Dwelling. First of all, killer name. Second of all, this card's actually pretty strong, I think.
Yeah, so it has the god text, indestructible, devotion less than 5, not a creature, 3 and a blue, legendary enchantment creature god, 6/5, and then at the beginning of your end step, exile up to one other target creature you control, then return that creature to the battlefield under your control. Obviously very good with leaves the battlefield abilities, enters the battlefield abilities.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, you can pay 3 and a blue, tap their target. Very good.
Which is, yeah, very relevant ability.
I think this will see play in standard. Maybe some people will mess with it in modern. Limited, just absolute bomb.
Oh, I can see a world where this is like one of the best cards in standard. Like, standard is dominated by this card.
Yeah, I could see it. Very good. Without a doubt, very good.
Well, there's a card that we're going to be talking about in a little bit that Thassa works incredibly well with. And
I'm sold on this card already. So
yeah, I'm in love with Thassa. I think she's great, and I do think this could be a Pioneer deck, just like the blue tempo blink strategy. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Shit, even Commander. Shout out to the Commander players out there.
Yeah, this could be a pretty good Commander with the Indestructibles always pretty fucking good. Oh yeah, I mean,
all the gods just by themselves are just like very pretty. They're just very cool commanders because they hit and they just stick around and they just have abilities that are very good when you have a shitload of mana. Yeah, I back all the gods as commanders.
Yeah, I know you're a fan of them.
I'm a sucker for the gods. I'm a sucker for Theros. Maybe that's why I'm so excited about this set. I just love the concept. So fucking cool.
Yeah, that's very possible.
I also think this set's great, but also this next card I also think is pretty great. It is Thassa's Intervention. Matt, I know you're pretty high on this card.
You wanna other? So yeah, this is very good. I think in standard especially, this will be a corner or a fucking mainstay for control decks. So it is all the interventions. They have 2 options. You choose one. So this one is blue, blue, X. The first option is look at the top X cards of your library, put up to two of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then the second mode is counter target spell unless its controller pays twice X.
Yeah, and all of them have that thing too where the second thing is doubling X for whatever.
Yes. So this is either at the worst, it's draw 2 cards for 4 mana, instant speed.
Yeah, 4 mana, instant speed divination. That's okay.
Yeah, or 3 mana, draw 1 card at instant speed. Not that great, but these obviously get better the later the game goes. And then the counter spell, it can obviously hit something pretty early for 3, kind of like a quench or whatever it is, unless they pay 2. So if it's you put 2 mana into this, they need to pay 4, so on and so on. Just doubling whatever the X is.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to like the later turns, this turns into counter target spell for like 5 mana.
Yeah, very good card. I'm sold on it. I like the look at the top X, take 2 best ones. The worst at that is 4 mana instant speed divination.
Yeah, and just the mobility of something like that. That's what makes these cards so good, is that, your opponent didn't play anything, let's draw some cards. Oh, your opponent played something you can't beat, let's make sure that thing does not resolve. Like, having options strapped onto these cards makes them so good.
Yeah, modular cards are always quite good.
Yeah, especially when both the options are very good.
Yeah, so very good card. I'm in on it. I don't really have anything else to say. That's how it's just really good.
Yeah, card sweet. The next card, this is what I was kind of referring to as working pretty good with Thassa. It is Thassa's Oracle. So Thassa's Oracle is a Merfolk wizard. It is blue for a 1/3. And then when Thassa's Oracle enters the battlefield, you look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion to blue. Put up to one of them from one of them on top of your library, and then you put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If X is greater or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. That's something.
Yeah, seem pretty good.
Yeah, and just having this guy on the battlefield, doing that ability, at least for 3 with Thassa and this guy at your end step, that seems a pretty good way to find ways to win the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like, I'm just going to, like, you can just casually just bounce this guy at your end step every time. Because, I mean, it's a 1/3, so, like, is it really getting in there, like, to attack? Probably not. So it's not getting threatened by dying in combat. You just get to use this as a utility to just filter through the top of your deck, find the exact card that you need for whatever scenario you're in, and then all the other garbage, just put it on the bottom. It's not like you have to, like, bin that shit. You just get to put it on the bottom, recycle it for later.
Yeah, very good. I'm in on this. This is also a very good card.
Yeah, I love this card. And, like, there's a chance that this is just, like, a better version, in a lot of circumstances, a better version of, like, a Laboratory Maniac effect.
Yeah.
Because you just get utility before that, like, before the ability resolves. I mean, you do have to push it a little bit farther to get, like, to make this guy really, like, significantly better. But just the marginal little bit of better that it gets from when it enters the battlefield, just immediately doing 2, regardless of what you have on the battlefield, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad.
Yeah, I'm in for that card. I think that card's going to see play in a couple different formats, some casual, some competitive. And people are just going to have a blast with that card, because that is one of those cards that just exists in a world that is so fun.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with you there. So
Fuck.
I would like to, but I can't.
Sorry, dude. Well, maybe you can disagree with me on this one, because I've actually disagreed with a couple people on this one on the internet, at least with how adamant they are in favor of this card. This card is Cling to Dust. So we're out of the blue cards into the black cards. Cling to Dust is 1 black for an instant speed spell. It says you exile a card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you gain 3 life. Otherwise, draw a card. It also has escape for 3 and a black and exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. So it just being a 1 mana instant speed interaction with graveyard, like, by itself, that's pretty good. The fact that it draws a card, I think, is what makes people freak out about this.
I think this is only going to be good in standard, fighting escape, and that's really drawing a card isn't that great for a black mana at instant speed. They're just better cantrips. I guess it has options, I guess, is the best part about it.
Oh yeah, it serves multiple purposes, right? Like it gets rid of something from a graveyard while also getting you a card.
That one, the first time you cast it, it's okay. The escape cost is ridiculous. 3 and a black, exile 5 other cards. That's kind of hefty.
I feel like the second time you're casting this card, it is out of actual desperation.
Yeah, just nothing else to do with your mana. Yeah. So,
and my thing is, like, there are people who are losing their mind thinking that this card is going to be very, very fucking good, especially in Legacy. Like, people think that this card's going to see a lot of. My thing is, there's already other options to deal with graveyards, even in black, that are just better than. Like, you have Surgical Extraction, which is free, and literally anybody can play that. It's an instant speed, and it gets rid of all of them throughout the deck, not just the specific one that you're worried about right now that's in the graveyard.
Yeah, so I'm not in on this card very much.
Well, and if you want to pay mana for it, there's Extirpate, which does the same thing as Surgical Extraction, except for you have to pay for it, but it also has Split Second, so you can't do anything with that on the stack, at least casting a spell line.
Yeah, can't interact with it at all.
Yeah, so, I mean, and in other colors, like, it's not like, I mean, obviously you're not playing this in other colors, but like in other colors, you have colorless ways to deal with graveyards. Like you have Tormod's Crypt, you have Grafdigger's Cage.
Progenitus. Yeah, there's a shit ton of colorless ways.
There's another card that we're going to be talking about that is very similar to Relic of Progenitus that exists now in constructed formats. I'm not sold on this card, but we could be eating crow on this. This standard could just like change something.
I think it'll be good in standard, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's like the standard version of like what a Surgical Extraction, like a fixed Surgical Extraction is, right?
It just stops their escape cards, really.
Yeah, and it's like it can do like the cantrippy thing and like preemptively stop an escape thing. Yeah, I'm not crazy sold on this card. So we are waiting to be proved wrong, which has happened in the past and will probably happen again.
Yeah, it's definitely happened before.
So that is actually the only black card that we really wanted to talk about. Let's move to some red cards. Matt, I know you were excited about the Phoenix of Ash.
Not excited necessarily. I just think it's pretty decent. 3 mana 2/2 flying haste. Phoenixes have shown that they're always better than on the face.
Yeah, and then namely Arclight Phoenix is a very recent example of that.
So this is kind of the same thing. So this is 1 red, flying haste Phoenix 2/2. For 2 into red, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and it escapes for 2 red, exile 3 other cards from your graveyard, and it escapes with a +1/+1 counter. So it's either a 3 mana 2/2 flying haste for 3, or a 3/3 flying haste for 4, and 3 cards from your graveyard.
I mean, all of those things are pretty good.
Yeah, I think this thing is pretty solid. I do think this will see play somewhere. Pioneer, Modern, maybe. I don't know.
I could see this being a Pioneer card.
Yeah,
for sure.
Get all the Phoenixes.
Yeah, and also just on a card design aspect, the escape mechanic seems like it is built for a Phoenix. So I'm glad that they did find a Phoenix to put in the set, like, for escape. Like, because what he says coming back from the dead is something like better than the actual idea of a Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I really like that. That is super sweet.
Yeah, this one seems pretty good. I like it. I think it'll see some play.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I am on the same boat as you. Next card, also staying in red. The only other invention that I think is worth talking about, Purpuros's invention. So this guy is X in 1 red. This one's sorcery speed, and it says, choose 1. You either create an X1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste. You sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, or Purpuros's intervention deals twice X damage to target creature or planeswalker.
So 4 mana deal 6 to a creature or planeswalker. 3 do 4. So pretty good. I think this is a pretty good removal spell that if there's not a removal spell and you're in an aggressive deck, you can just casually make a 3/1 to smash them for 3 mana.
Yeah, and my thing is too
4 mana, sorry.
I love the fact that it is set up like this, where the first time I read it, I was like, oh man, it doesn't say deal damage to target player, creature, or planeswalker. And then I thought about the first ability. I'm like, oh wait, the first ability says player. just in
Yeah.
more words.
Pretty much.
I think
yeah.
that is the most balanced way that they can make like a pseudo fireball effect with just making it like red X. Like this is the most powerful yet balanced fireball we will probably ever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so you can just like 1X and then throw a creature at somebody's face, or just kill their planeswalker or kill their creature, which is the best design I could probably have for a quote unquote fireball effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that card's sweet.
Yeah.
All of these cards, like
Really
that's
good.
the reoccurring trend with these. They
Oh,
all
that's pretty good. Yeah.
are just so cool.
Yeah.
Like Wizards
I'm sold.
sometimes they drop the ball on the design aspect of things, and then sometimes they have sets like this where everything I feel like I look at is designed so well.
Yeah, not often do they do a very good job, but I think the set is pretty good.
Fuck yes. So moving out of the red cards into the green cards, let's talk about Dryad of Elizengrove. Yeah, I think
So-
that's correct.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'll read this and I'm going to say it's very, very good. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going crazy on this one. It's very obviously very powerful. So 2 and a green for a 2/4 enchantment creature nymph. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, and lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types.
Ooh, this is just like Courser of Krufix all grown up.
Yep, very good.
Yeah, just he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He grew out of his back legs, and now he just has 2 regular legs and is just hanging out, half naked or full naked on a tree, just swinging dick and letting you play lands, and then also making your lands just 5-color lands.
Yep, Prismatic Omen meets Explore. There you go.
Yeah,
On a 2/4 body.
Jesus.
Very good.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't-
glad
like I
that
said, I
Field of
don't
the
have
Dead
it
and
much-
this guy are not legal in the same format.
Yeah,
I think this guy's going to see modern play.
probably. It's very good. So, like I said, I'm not going crazy on it because it's like beating a dead horse. I can only say it's very
reading
good
this
so many
card
times.
Explains the card.
Yep.
This card is fucked. Oh my god, this is so good. I think this card is like sneakily maybe one of the best cards in there.
I don't know about that, but it might be.
I think this card is going to just sneak up on people and it's just going to start popping up in a million different decks in a couple different formats, and people are like, oh, this is an engine that is just gonna crush people. And a 2/4 body, that's pretty formidable.
Oh, for sure it is.
I mean, we saw what Courser of Krufix did in Standard. Like, it took over that format because it's just like, oh, you can't kill
Extra
it.
land drops, yeah. 2/4. What?
Fucking kill the guy.
And this one's only 1 green. All right, I'm done talking about this card. It's very good.
Well, the next card I want to talk about is the first Arowan Games. Another 2 and a green spell. This one is a saga, though. So for the chapter 1 of this saga, you create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Chapter 2, you put 3 +1/+1 counters on a creature you control. For 3, or at chapter 3, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw 2 cards. And then the 4th chapter, you get a gold token, which you can sack to add any color to your mana pool. This card, if it resolves and goes as planned, is like the most value I think you could possibly ever get out of a card for 2 and a green. Ever.
Yeah, you're super into this. I don't know how I feel about it.
Oh, this is like a pack 1 pick 1 of the ages, I think, in Limited. I
good,
genuinely think this card is so powerful. It very well might be like format.
Format defining, I don't know, but definitely good.
Yeah, this card is like I actually factually so fucking good. Like
It's
the
definitely
only,
good for
The only
sure.
prerequisite I see to this card, like in like a deck building constraint aspect, is that you have to have like some other creature on the battlefield before you cast it.
Yep, that is 100% correct. I don't think that it's good otherwise.
But
You
having a
need
creature
something
on
to
turn
dump
2,
those counters.
it's not particularly hard.
No, it's not. But also, that creature has to survive till your next draw step. I guess worst comes to worst, you could dump it on the human.
Yeah, so I'm saying you could dump it on the human, and then during that turn where you make a 4/4 out of whatever creature you have remaining, you still have 4 mana, presumably, if you're making a land drop, to cast another creature that hopefully at that point, if you're playing green, is going to have 4 toughness or 4 power. So you're going to get the draw card or draw 2 cards. Like, I mean, you can leave the 5th chapter off this; it doesn't actually matter. But
Yeah, I think that has more flavor than anything.
yeah. It's definitely like a very flavorful chapter, but it's not a very powerful chapter. but going from 1 to 2 to 3 on this card, I don't think is particularly difficult. In the value you're getting for 3 mana of investment is so far above what we've ever seen out of a 3 mana investment out of a card.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I could just see these creatures getting removed and then it just being useless and wasting mana.
My thing is, though, if your opponent is using removal spells on a 1/1 and your 2 mana spell, like, you're probably coming out ahead on that because they're probably using they're using over 4 mana worth of like spells on that and 2 spells, or they're using a Wrath, which is even better, I think, in your case.
Yeah, it's possible. I think it's good. I just don't know. It's not definitely format defining like you said it is.
Oh, I think this card is going to define standard, and I think there is a good chance that this just sees like massive play in Pioneer.
It's possible. Time will tell.
Like this, like turn 1 Hardened Scales, turn 2 like Cobra, turn 3 this. Oh boy, you're living. That's pod racing, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit, that seems good. I might build that deck. Fuck me.
See, this would be better in Boggles than anything.
Fuck it, throw it in Boggles too. It's going to define modern Boggles. Make modern Boggles tier 1. God damn it.
Definitely don't do that.
What would modern be? What would modern have to get to that Boggles is turn 1? Like, what would they have to print? It's going to be this card. This is like we're looking at the card.
If they keep
That's it.
Getting rid of everything.
That's our next topic. After we are finished talking about cards, the next one is Nylea's Intervention. Matt, you like this card, don't you?
Yes, I do. For the mere fact that 4 mana, go find Dark Depths combo.
Yeah, that seems pretty okay.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that a land deck
deals with flyers.
Yeah, the flyers thing I think is less relevant, but the 4 mana going to get your combo seems pretty okay.
Yeah, and then I think this will be pretty good in Commander too.
Oh yeah, anything that has like some kind of land tutor ability attacked onto it is automatically just a very good Commander card.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, speaking of Commander cards, Nyx Bloom Ancient. What the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, they fucked up here for sure.
He's a monster.
Yeah, triple your mana. That's so dumb.
Yeah,
7 mana. Yeah, that's not that hard to do. Commander, which is where this card is for.
First of all, not a legendary creature. So for 4 and 3 green, you get a 5/5 creature, enchantment creature with trample. And yeah, like Matt says, when you tap a permanent 4 mana, it produces 3 times that mana. So not just lands. This turns a Soul Ring into tap, add 6 colorless. Oh,
yep, dumb.
Oh,
real dumb.
And some fucking Poindexters on the Twitter did the math. And if you cast Rite of Replication, kicked, targeting this guy, and that resolves, 1 singular forest taps for 729 mana. That is just 1 forest.
So stupid.
Like, what? Holy shit. I'm going to need this card. I'm going to need this card for my Commander deck. Because I just want to live that dream of casting Rite of Replication on this and then making 1,000,000 mana and then probably dying because of it.
Yeah, you're for sure not the only person who wants this card. So, yeah, this card's ridiculous for sure. 3 times, yeah, dumb. They fucked up. It's going to be a $30 card.
Oh, yeah, if not just for Commander. Like, this card, like, it doesn't even see play in anything else for this card to just be fucking bonkers.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so moving on to the multicolored spells. And let's talk about these Elder Giants that we got, because these cards are really fucking cool.
So we'll start with the red-black one.
Yeah.
Croxa, Titan of Death's Hunger. So it's black-red, 6/6, legendary creature, Elder Giant. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. And then whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. And it escapes for black, red, exile, 5 other cards. So if you just cast this, you still get the trigger.
Yep.
But you get the creature in addition to the trigger if you escape it.
Yeah.
So this one is not very good unless it's escaped, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna first pick this every time in draft. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't have the oomph that the other one does, at least on the first cast of it.
Yeah, I think they're still good. It's a 4 mana 6/6.
Yeah,
5
4 mana
other
6/6
cards.
is fucking great.
I think these will for sure be at least commanders. I think these are going to be popular in standard.
Yo, yeah, for sure. But like you said, that one a little underwhelming. The next one is what? It's disgusting. This card is nuts.
Yeah. So this one is 1 green blue 6/6 legendary creature Elder Giant. Same text if it enters the battlefield, sack it unless it is. And when this is Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Whenever Uro enters the battlefield or attacks, gain 3 life, draw a card, and then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. And then the exile cost is green, green, blue, blue. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. What?
Yeah. Holy shit.
This one's real good.
What a bunch of text. So just for 3 mana.
3 mana explore with the additional gain 3 life.
Yeah.
And then escape it later on. Not even later on, the next turn.
There's a good chance that, if you have 5 other cards in your graveyard, this is just you do this, and then the next turn you get him. You get just a big old 6/6 that when he attacks, you are getting so much value, you're going to throw up. Yeah.
The draw a card, I think, is a bit... I don't know what blue-green did for Wizards, but all this card draw and just ridiculous cards.
Yeah, whatever hand job Wizards got under the table from Simic Mages, they're getting paid for tenfold.
Yes.
Because all of the cards that are coming out in this color combination, all of them are fucking gross. All of them are busted.
Yeah, they are disgustingly good.
Wizards printed Oko, and everybody's like, oh no, Oko's too strong, it's too good, let's ban it in every format. Wizards like, okay, let's ban it in every format, that's fine. And then Wizards behind the scenes is just like, oh, you thought Oko was bad.
Oh, this is not nearly as bad as Oko.
No, it's not, but it is the exact same cost as Oko. That they're just keep shoving 1 green blue cards that are fucking gross down our throats, and we're just expected to take it.
Yeah, they keep fucking jamming up.
There has to be somebody on the play design team that is just wet for Simic.
Oh yeah, for sure. They've been fucking pushing it real hard.
Yes. Jesus, yeah. Fucking Christ. Well, I think the last card we want to talk about is an artifact. It is Shadow Spear.
Yeah, this thing. What the fuck?
Yeah, talk about push.
This is another
artifacts.
thing.
Talk about push equipment.
1 mana, legendary artifact equipment. Equips for 2. The equipped creature gets +1/+1, has trample and lifelink. And then just casually for 1 colorless mana, permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Remember how we said Boggles being tier 1? Not with this fucker around.
Nope. Yeah, because there's just an easy way to make those things killable.
Yep.
And it turns out it's just this guy.
Yeah, this thing's pretty good.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that you don't even have to use this as an equipment. It can legitimately just be a 1 mana artifact that for 1 does the ability. It doesn't have to be attached to anything. It just exists.
Yep, that ability is on the table.
Yeah, just imagine a spear laying on the ground that nobody has to be holding it. You just have to go up and press a button, and it just makes something happen. That's what we're looking at. This is the world we live in, where equipments don't even need to be held to do stuff.
Yeah, that's a design we haven't quite seen yet.
Yeah, of just an equipment that just has an innate ability by itself. It's like its own spell.
Yeah, that's repeatable too.
Yeah, which is amazing. I'm genuinely shocked that this doesn't say if Shadow Spear is equipped, pay 1 and then do that ability. No, it just happens. You can just do it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that caveat wasn't on as well.
But it's an interesting design space, and they did it on a very fucking disgusting card. This card is nuts.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this.
And it's colorless, so everybody has access to it in Commander. If for that one Commander friend out there that plays that one Commander that every single time they fucking play it, they always seem to have not lightning groups. They always seem to have Swiftfoot Boots on it. Well, now Swiftfoot Boots means a lot less.
Yeah. Another commander is basically going to go in any deck with creatures, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And in the context of the constructed format that this is in, losing indestructible to the gods, 1 flavor win for this card, because I'm pretty sure this spear is built to kill gods.
Yep.
Second of all,
Shadow Spear, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, in the game context, this being able to deal with gods might give it legs in constructed.
Yeah, it's possible. For sure. If there's going to be a lot of gods running around, which I'm assuming there are.
Yeah, depending on the impact of it, the impact of the gods. This card could just be like an already printed piece of hate for them.
Yeah, just toss it in there for free.
Yeah, which Wizards doesn't typically do. Usually they like printing answers after something has gone out of control. But this is a nice little thing that if something goes out of control, here's your contingency plan to take care of it before it gets too wild.
Yeah, and that's a fucking hell of a way to do it.
Hell yeah. All right, well, that about wraps it up for Theros spoilers. Pretty good set.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to draft this, and we'll definitely be talking about this as we get the set. And I'm sure our opinions will change of the cards once we get our hands on them. But for now, those are the ones that we have deemed highlightable.
Yeah, I think this will be a good draft set. There's definitely some standard stuff, some commander stuff. I'm not sure about a lot of other formats, but we'll see.
Yes, only time will tell.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe some of these cards could get banned.
I mean, fuck, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, they could join the likes of our good friend Oko and our good friend Microsynflata and our good friend Mox Opal.
Oko, very clearly a problem. Needed to go. I don't think anyone has an issue.
No, Oko was a piece of shit. Oh, also, by the way, we have now transferred to the part of the section of the podcast where we're talking about the recent modern ban and restricted announcements, which those 3 cards that I just named are now banned in the modern.
Yes, they are. So Oko's gone. No one has a problem with that. Very obvious reasons why.
Yeah, fuck
he
Oko.
was an answer, win condition, general dickhead.
Yeah, the most powerful Planeswalker ever printed needed to not be in modern.
Yeah. Mycosynth Lattice very clearly just made Magic not fun. It just said your opponent doesn't get to play Magic.
Yeah, and banning cards that make modern not fun, or at least like ending the game on the spot for a deck that's already producing a shit ton of mana, it was probably a very good move.
Yeah, that's fine. The one that I did have a problem with was Mox Opal. I don't think it was a problem. I know we've had this conversation before. I don't think it was a problem.
See, and I am on the side of the fence that I thought Mox Opal should have been banned a good long time ago, probably over a year, that I was on the boat of this card is probably too fucking good. But they finally did it. Those crazy sons of bitches. They finally got Mox Opal, the big old boot.
Yep, and doing so, they killed pretty much every affinity deck, all those Cheerio decks and Pure Steel Paladin decks. It's kind of like Bloodbraid Elf. Bloodbraid Elf died for Deathrite Shaman sins, and I think Mox Opal is dying for other sins.
See, and I disagree with that. I think Mox Opal has always been a problematic card. It's just we're waiting things to get printed that really abuse Mox Opal, and then banning those cards, which if we just ban the card just right out the gate, then we don't have to worry about it. Then they can still enjoy the design space of dealing with things that work with artifacts without having the one thing that accelerates the artifact decks while also just enabling those strategies to just be degenerate versus those strategies still existing, but just being a little bit more on pace with the rest of the form.
See, I disagree. It's not a problem. You get to ramp a little bit faster. Every other deck ramps for way more mana.
See, I don't think when you say every other deck, I don't even know what decks you're talking about.
Titan ramps way faster than Mox Opal lets you.
Yeah, but that's a
Tron
ramp
lets
deck.
you fucking get 7 mana. It doesn't matter. Like,
That's
you
a
should
ramp
be able
deck.
to have various things that can make mana. That's artifacts things.
Well, but
Or to be
none
able
of
to
those
fucking produce mana.
none of those decks get multiple mana on turn 1. I think
they
that's
just produce 20 mana on turn 3. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I don't think any of them produce 20 mana on turn 3, which also Urza
You get
could
my
do
fucking
that.
point where they make stupid. No, Urza could definitely not do that.
Well, if you produce an Urza on turn 3, like that enables you to just play out more of your artifacts, and then on turn 4, it pretty much sets you up for a guaranteed win.
No.
Yeah, I think that's just exactly how the deck works. That's like literally.
Yeah, that's not that deck. Never, ever, ever on turn 4 or 5. Not once.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Well, you're wrong. So that's.
I've definitely seen it win on turn 4.
Yeah, definitely not.
Because if they just continue to be able to play their free artifacts and just produce mana and cast
they're
spells.
fucking tiny artifacts that don't do anything.
Yeah, well,
mean
when those
those?
artifacts turn into islands,
Or is it fucking who just wins games, or Urza being able to make a fucking
even before
construct when it comes
Oko was
in?
printed, that deck existed and could still combo out early.
Yeah, but you needed multiple pieces, which is every fucking combo deck.
Yeah, but if you're talking about that deck like abusing mana, That a deck, I would argue, abused Mox Opal, at least in a mana way, far more than any of the other mana decks, because the other mana decks don't get to abuse a large amount of mana until much later in the game, where your opponent can actually develop a game plan to deal with it.
Nope,
like there were times where
Titan.
Yeah, you can deal with Titan. Given a few turns, there are cards that you can put in your deck that deal with Titan before they can go off and kill you.
Yeah, you know what you can put in to fucking deal with Urza? Path Exile, Dismember, fucking Counterspell.
But with Mox Opal, you can still cast other things.
Oh my god. I'm never going to agree with you on this. I believe that you could not be more wrong.
I mean, I just don't think there's ever been a world where Mox Opal was a fair card.
That's fine. There are many cards that are not fair.
Sure, I guess so. Yeah.
We're allowed to have cards that are not fair. There are many cards still in Modern that are not fair and allow you to do broken things. If you don't think Amulet is broken, then you're ridiculous. If you don't think...
Oh, I do. I think the actual
fucking
card
1/2
is broken.
Which therefore turns the deck where you can play 4 lands a turn and produce 2 mana.
Oh no, and I'm not arguing for the fact that Amulet, like that, the card actual Amulet should be in the format. I think Amulet should be banned as well. But that should go the way of Oko and Mox Opal and all the other busted cards.
Well, in your ideal format, everyone would be playing mono white creatures.
No, that's not true. I don't want to play against mono white every single round. That would be less fun. Like, I want there to be variance in the format, but I also want it to be a format where if you have like some combination of like 3 cards, that makes your game, like your game plan, at least for your opponent, almost impossible to work.
See, I think they should have just banned Oko and Lattice, and I think that would have been 100% fine, because people are just going to move to the other combo versions of that deck, and you're just going to be, every round, you would be playing fucking mono red, some flavor of Titan, and I don't even think Urza is going to be popular now.
Oh, I still think, I think Urza still definitely has a home in Modern.
It's not going to be very popular. Just because it has a home doesn't mean it didn't.
I still think it's going to be like at the top tables. Urza will still exist as a deck.
We'll see.
Only time will tell. I do think that Urza is still alive and well. I don't think he's going.
I don't think it was worth that to kill other decks.
I mean, I do feel bad.
Starting off with Oko is a great place to start. We've learned before that Wizards makes terrible decisions when it comes to banned and restricted. Occasionally they make good decisions. Like Oko was a good decision. Lattice was a good decision.
I also do think Mox Opal has been on the watch list for a very long time. And this is just like they decided to pull the trigger now. Like, I don't think this was a decision made in haste. Like, I think they've been watching the card, and in its current state, they felt like it was time for it to just not be a part of the format. I do feel bad for all the Affinity players. Like, all of the diehard Affinity players that have been playing that deck forever. Their deck is significantly hindered now, and that feels really shitty. But,
no, it's not hindered. It's no longer viable. There's a massive difference.
We've also had people in the past, like you played Birthing Pod since pretty much Modern existed, and Birthing Pod got banned.
That was one deck. Mox Opal went in multiple decks.
I would say but like the tier decks.
Doesn't matter. It literally kills. They killed decks. Like when they banned KCI, they banned KCI, and that killed one deck.
Yeah,
it didn't kill multiple decks, which that's exactly what banning Opal did.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like it did impact a lot of different decks.
I've already seen people, they're like, okay, well, I'm done with Modern. Like, people were so fucking pissed, and I don't blame them.
I mean, I don't think any of those people are actually done.
No,
I feel like people are just prone to hyperbole, and people are just like, well, now I'm done. Now I quit Magic. And then...
No, not Magic.
In a couple months' time, they're just going to be back on the... Like, if there's one thing that we've learned about Magic, is that people just do not merely quit formats. Like, Magic players really fucking like Magic, and Modern players really like Modern. Like, players are going to adapt, and players are going to find different decks that they are going to enjoy.
Let's hope so.
I really doubt that anybody, or that a significant population of Magic is just going to be like, well, Mox Opal's gone, now I have to sell every card that I've ever owned.
I guarantee, go look at the price of them now. They dropped real hard.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what happens to every card when it gets banned from the only format it's really played in. Like, look at Splinter Twin when it got banned.
Well, that was only a $20 card.
Yeah, it dropped to
Splinter Twin
like $4.
Yeah, it's still like $10. When Mox Opal was $100, and now it's earlier it was at $60, and it was dropping.
I think that was a separate problem altogether. That Mox Opal was $100 to begin with.
They're down to about $50.
Yeah, I don't think a card should ever be Like a card like that should ever be $100. That's just
that's
wild to me.
because it was played in so many decks. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I think the
It wasn't
printing
one deck.
issue
There
was
was
more
multiple that played this card. It had more than one printing.
barely. It was printed in a old standard set, and then it was printed in mastered sets. It was never widely printed.
I don't think everything needs to be widely printed. So Modern Masters, Scars, it was a Judge promo, and it was a masterpiece.
Oh, masterpiece are never going to cause a significant drop in anything. And like the same argument can be made for Noble Hierarch, which has seen approximately the same amount of printings. And it's still...
There's more than 4.
I don't know about that.
Conflux, Modern Masters, Box Topper,
The
Ultimate
box topper does not
Masters,
count as a printing.
Judge promo, RPTQ promo. But there are more of them around than...
I wouldn't say the promos particularly.
Doesn't matter. There's more copies of them floating around. Whether or not it's printed or however you want to define printed, there are more copies. And thusly, you can, on Card Kingdom, Hierarchs for Ultimate Masters are $35.
Sure. But like, I'm saying if they would print those cards more frequently, they would not retain that high price.
That's possible.
And I think that Mox Opal could be printed, or could have been printed, and it would have not been that price.
That has nothing to do with it being banned or not.
No, it definitely does not.
I disagree with it, and no one will ever change my mind of why.
Well, all you Mox Opal fanboys out there, sorry for your loss. But I think Modern's a better place now. And maybe it might be a playable format. Maybe.
It might be.
Just maybe.
All right, let's do our game. I'm going to punch you through a phone eventually.
Salty Matt is salty.
I hope they ban Thalia one day.
Oh, that's not possible, and you know it.
I hope they do.
Thalia is nowhere good enough to be. If Thalia was ever good enough to be banned, I'd be living in the sun until that happened. That's a format I'm trying to get behind. Thalia, too good, must ban.
So on to our game.
Yeah! So we are going to be playing some accumulated knowledge.
So go ahead and explain it. I am asking you this week.
Yes, you are asking me. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, accumulated knowledge is the game that we play every week where we go onto the Scryfall website, hit the random card button, and then whatever card is generated, one of us asks the other the name of the card. The other person has to give the converted mana cost of the card. If they get it right, they win, and if they don't, they are a loser and they suck, and they should probably just go die. So that's going to be me just needing to go die this week because I am not feeling very confident.
Well, your first one, if you don't get it, then you should be punched.
Well, let's hear it.
So I'm just going to give you it was your pack one, pick one in the Chaos Draft.
Oh, I don't remember what that is. Wait, was it Wake Thresher?
Yes, it was Wake Thresher.
Oh, this card won me some games. Wake Thresher is a fucking disgusting card. It is 2 and a blue.
That is correct. It's funny that was the first card that came up.
That is really funny. Yeah, I was like, I don't remember what I picked, and then I was just like, oh wait, no, I know it was a rare, and I know it was blue, and it was definitely a creature. Yes, so Wake Thresher is, I think I got this. It's 2 and a blue for a 1/1, and then whenever you untap a permanent, Wake Thresher gets a +1/+1 till the end of turn, equal to the number of permanents that you untapped.
The second part was overkill. It's just whenever a permanent you control becomes untapped, Wake Thresher gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So this counts for lands, creatures, everything.
Yes. Yeah, that card, I think I kicked Austin's teeth in with like a turn 4. I attacked with a 12/12 Wake Thresher.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep, that card just gets out of control real quick.
Right, so 1 for 1. You ready for your next one?
Oh, I've never been ready.
This one is Concordia Pegasus.
Concordia Pegasus. I think this card is from Theros.
Would you like to use a hint?
I kind of do, but I kind of don't. I think this card was just a generic, shitty flyer. I remember this card in Limited because all the Pegasuses are either like 2/2s or something that have an ability. But I think this one, because it was from Theros, the recent Pegasus have abilities. But originally they were just shitty 2/2s for or a 1/1 for 2 mana or something like that. I'm gonna say this guy's a 1/1 flyer for 1 and a white.
The 1/1 flyer is wrong, but yeah, it's a 1 and a white. Most of the Pegasus are 2 or 3 mana. It's just flying 1/3.
Oh, it's a 1/3?
Yeah.
And it's from Theros,
mana.
right?
No, RTR.
Oh, okay. So I was kind of in the same zone. I'm a year away.
Jesus Christ, dude. You're getting all the fucking waffles today.
Hey, give me them. Give me them.
So you win because you only need 3. This one is Wall of Roots.
Oh, Wall of Roots. our good old mana tree. I love that. The Wall of Roots is a 1 and a green. It is a 0/4, and you can put a -0/-1 counter on it and add a green to your mana pool, right?
Yeah, you can only do it once, but it is an 05. Yes.
Oh,
one in the
5.
green.
No, I said 0/4. It's an 0/5.
Yeah, but you got the 1 in the green correct.
It's a defender too, if you were wondering.
Plant wall specific.
Huh. I wonder why it has plant on it. That's kind of weird.
That's the errata tech, so it was originally just a wall.
Mm.
Do you want your last two?
Yeah, come on, fire me off. I want them to be hard. I'm not going to use any hints on them, so I'm just going to fire off whatever comes to mind.
All right, Arc Runner.
Arc Runner. 1 in a red.
Wrong. 2
What
in
is
a
it?
red.
Fuck.
Close. 5/1 haste for 2 in a red. Beginning your end step sacrifice.
Oh,
Hits Horde.
jeez.
You actually might get this one. Tormentor Exarch.
Tormentor Exarch. That seems like a Theros card too. Is that the one black guy? Is
I
it
don't
like?
know.
Is it? I don't know. That's like the Herald of Torment. I'm
Fire
thinking
it
of
off,
like
boy.
I'm thinking of the 3 black that makes 1/1 Cobalt equal to your devotion. It's 4 and a black. Fuck.
These are from the Pyrexia cycle, dude. New Pyrexia. The Exarchs, the blue Exarch. This one is the red Exarch. So it's 3 in a red, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, or target creature gets -0/-2 until end of turn.
Oh, so it's the blue counterpart is Deceiver Exarch, the one that combos with Twin and Kiki.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I was definitely thinking Herald of Torment. The Torment thing threw me off. I was definitely thinking Herald of Torment. It's just a rare from Theros. I have Theros on the mind.
Yeah, the good ones are Deceiver Exarch and Entomber Exarch.
What's the Entomber one? Is that the black one?
Yeah, return creature to your hand or from graveyard, or you duress that.
Oh, that one does seem pretty good. What is that? 2 in a black or 3 in a black?
2 black. They were good in pod.
Ooh, yeah,
Was
that
the-
seems really good.
So
I
I
like
suppose you get the shout out for the week.
Hell yeah, that's our. I think that's the first W of 20 for me. The first W of 2020.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Starting the year off with a bang. Let's fucking go. All right. So our shout out this week. This might be the most famous shout out I think we've ever done.
Oh,
I think
damn.
maybe. If not, then Wizards was probably more famous. But our shout out this week, I want to shout out Jerry Thomas. And Jerry's
Yeah.
always been a fucking cool cat.
Yeah, Jerry T's where it's at.
Yeah, so yeah, if you get a chance, go check out Jerry T stream. You can find him on Twitter at Jerry T, but the E is a 3, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. And then so you can find him there. You can find him on YouTube, and you can find him on Patreon and all the fun stuff. So yeah, go check out Jerry T. He's a classic guy.
Yeah, Jerry T's a very good Magic player, number 1, and number 2 always does exactly what he thinks is correct.
Yes. Yeah, he's number 1. He's I think he's number 1. He's a very good guy. Number 2, very good Magic player. And just like those
Yeah.
two things together is double thumbs up for me. I'm all into that.
Yeah, great dude. I give my blessing for that.
Ho, we got the blessing, ladies and gentlemen. All right, dude. Well, I'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, annuals this weekend.
The most wonderful time of the year is finally upon us. Fuck Christmas. Fuck all the other holidays. Our annual tournament is this coming weekend, and I could not be more fucking excited about it.
This is the biggest tournament of the year, bigger than
Oh,
Worlds.
yeah. Like you thought SCG Columbus was something. You thought Grand Prix or SCG Syracuse a couple months ago was something. That pales in comparison to this fucking tournament.
Those aren't shit.
No. Yeah, we are playing 5 rounds of limited in a 2-day period.
Yeah, 5 different drafts.
Yeah, of 5 different sets.
Yeah, and you guys next week will get that episode.
Oh yeah, next week will be our full tournament report of all of the magic and all of the shenanigans that go down at our annual tournament. It is always a fucking blast because it's always just a bunch of close friends that we have known, some new, some old, just getting together and enjoying some alcoholic adult beverages while playing a whole shitload of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it's a hell of a fun time.
Fuck yeah. So I will see you Friday.
Yeah, I will see you Friday, dude.
Fuck yeah. And for all those of you out there, if you are looking to follow the Fetch and Shock podcast on Twitter, you can find us at fetch_shock. If you want to follow me, Tyler, you can find me at @basiclandbin. If you want to follow Matt, he is at It's Bop. I think that about wraps it up, dude.
That's a wrap, kid.
Like I said, I will see you Friday. And for all those nerds out there, we will see you later, nerds!
Peace. It's done.